Kia ora and welcome to Tarmac. I'm Dave.
And I'm Matthew, and behind us is the Smart #1 BRABUS.
That's right, it's a fun, fast EV with character. Basically, #wow. Now, for those of you who don't know, BRABUS is a German company that's renowned for making, I guess, the likes of Mercedes, Rolls-Royce, Range Rover a little bit more insane in terms of looks and performance. But they've also even ventured into boats, and also now they've got a BRABUS Island. Oh, there's a place I want to go. Now with the Smart #1, they've opened what they call a new chapter based on the fact that they've also been with Smart for the last 20 years. So it's kind of a new chapter based on some of their older, I guess their older connection. Taking a closer look at this #1, what you've got is an EV that's both exciting and also fun to drive. But in terms of styling, as you look around the front, they've thrown an awful lot at it. And some of it's functional and some of it's just aesthetic. So if we get these nostrils, these air vents here are completely blocked off. So there's no air vent going through here, but they look great. But also, when you look down the bottom here, the air vents on the side here are actually functional, so they send air down the side, making it more efficient or aerodynamic. And you get here a massive front apron here that comes with these BRABUS red highlights that really make it stand out and something to look at when it's driving down the road. What we've got is 4.3 meters in length and 1.64 meters in height. So it sort of sits between that sort of hot hatch and a small mini crossover. Can't say mini, but certainly a smallish crossover. And in terms of styling, again, this dramatic side, you've got the side skirts down here with a red down the side. You've got the red mirror caps. And in terms of coloring, what we've got is Meta Black and Radiant Red. So got to have that Radiant Red. The wheels themselves, they're 19 inches and BRABUS styled. So everything's BRABUSness or BRABUS drivability and stuff. And you've got these sticky out handles or flush handles that come out that you have to go your hand under here to get into, but with smart written on the side, and also your Smart signage down the rear. Around the rear here, you've got a roofline spoiler that actually is functional, and also a stoplight. You've got some wiper blades, again that's functional. A light bar that goes across and accentuates its full 1.6 something in width, and also down the bottom you've got this diffuser with more of this radiant red trim. There's also some, if you look around, there's some more BRABUS signs as well, which is great. And unlike the #3 where you can push your finger in the A hole there to open it, you can actually open the #1 just there, and that opens up to 323 litres of boot space. So not bad actually, plenty for your shopping, and yeah, enough room for your kit bags. Let's see what powers it. Okay, behind it all, or actually right down below and on the subframe down the bottom here, is a 66 kilowatt hour battery, which is good for, when fully charged, around 400 kilometers of range. And in terms of actually oomph, what you've got is 315 kilowatts of power and 543 newton meters of torque, which is quite exceptional, especially when this little rocket will go from 0 to 100 in 3.9 seconds. So stupidly fast, and also crazy looking. It also has an efficiency of around about 18.2 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, which is not bad considering it's all-wheel drive, and just actually it's very well balanced, so it drives well.
As similarly with the exterior, the interior also sort of screams this performance tuner kind of look to it. So everything, I pointed out the black and red accents, but you do get the Alcantara on the seats as well, which are both heated and ventilated. The steering wheel also heated. It's lined in Alcantara all around as well, and has red stitching there. You've got a huge amount of choices in terms of your LED lighting colors, so that goes all around the dashboard, in to the doors, and in the speaker housing as well, which highlights the B logo for the Beats audio system, of course, which you can kind of play around with using the infotainment screen. It's not just performance oriented in that aspect, it is also made with practicality in mind. So you do get this sort of floating center console idea where a wireless charger for your phone sits in there along with 2 USB-C ports. There is a 12-volt socket as well, 2 cup holders, another nook for a phone in there, and you get quite a deep under armrest storage cubby, which actually you can open up to let some of that ventilation go in to keep your drinks cool, I guess, or whatever else you put in there. Big storage space underneath here as well for larger items and things. But one thing to note, if you do have a water bottle sitting in there and you take a sort of rapid turn, it can come out of there and end up in your pedal box, so something to watch out for. The infotainment screen here in the middle is 12.8-inch unit, as you can see there, and it's got a few touch capacitive shortcuts down the bottom, which I'll cover in just a moment. But first off, I mean, just look at that screen. At first, yes, it looks a little bit busy and there is a lot going on there, but there's no mistaking the fact that these colors, the fonts, the whole sort of setup of it screams character and individuality, and you look at that and you go instantly, I know that's a Smart. It also helps that there is a little #1 actually just on the map over there. The other thing you'll notice is the screen shows you what mode you're in over there, nice and clear, and the cheetah down there is actually your AI assistant, but you can also change that to a fox if you know what the fox says. Aside from that, you've got your controls for the climate down the bottom here, and if you open up the climate there, you have your cheetah sitting on a Smart #seat enjoying some brilliant air conditioning from a windmill or whatever those things are called. Aside from that, you've got your app drawer over there, so you open that up and you've got a variety of apps, including some games as well, so you can have a bit of fun while you're in the car, and it's charging, not to mention connectivity for your phone via Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. It's got Bluetooth as well, of course, and your music connectivity directly there with Spotify. One thing to note is I highly recommend, if you are looking at one of these, it's worth diving into this quick control system and setting up a profile to really suit yourself. So you can turn off some of the safety beeps and chimes and all of that to make your driving a little bit more peaceful. But one thing you'll notice about this setting screen is how many different options there are, not just from the door mirrors, even the sunroof blind, the heads-up display, the seats, and as you keep going down, as I mentioned before, ambient lighting. Just look at the amount of colors available there. You've got your driving assistance systems over there, and of course vehicle settings as well. Plenty again to have a look at and customize according to your liking as the driver. The other thing to note is, as I mentioned before, about the driving modes. Now, if you do press that, you see that it changes. So comfort goes from sort of a green, environmentally friendly area to a city, if you like. There you can see one that's very reminiscent of many big cities across the globe, but the football stadium and the tower there, in particular landmarks. Click the driving mode button once more and it goes to sport, and as you can see there, it has a smart park which has basically like a roller coaster track with smart cars on it. There's drones. It's a little bit futuristic, quirky, and also has a nice fun sort of S driving road there. Push it once more and you go into BRABUS mode, which as you can see there has got a fully fledged go-kart track, and it does actually say smart cars. There is a symbol there along with your checkered flags and all of that. So some quite cool detail has gone into the graphics and the sounds and all of that. While it may seem like the infotainment screen has got a lot going on, it's for very good reason, because as a driver you're meant to be focused on this gauge cluster in front of you effectively, and what that is a lot more simplistic, and it delivers you the basics really in terms of a driving experience. So on the left side you've got your speed sign recognition, you've got your battery percentage level, your range, you've got your speed of course, and then a monitor to show you how your adaptive cruise control is working. In the middle you get a little bit of a hint, if you like, as to what mode you're in, but that's also displayed on the right side. So the BRABUS changes according to over there what mode you're in, the gear selector, and then if you've got some audio going, you'll see that on the screen in front over there. You can also change what you see there. You get the other option of having a trip, as you can see there, I've been averaging 17.2 kilowatt hours since my last charge this morning. But aside from that, there is not much else going on. So very neatly laid out, simple in terms of the information it delivers you. You've got your buttons on the steering wheel. As I mentioned, the left side takes care of the adaptive cruise control. The right side has your audio and sort of music or audio input controls. And it's also got a BRABUS logo at the bottom of this flat bottom steering wheel, which lights up at night. So if you felt like they missed the sporty theme on the steering wheel for whatever reason, they've ensured that that logo stays along with this sporty outlook, which very much translates into the way this car drives. So let's go and do that. It's after lunch. We've both had a good feed, and what Smart say now is this will do 0 to 100 in 3.7 seconds.
3.9, something like
3.7,
that.
okay.
Sub 4 anyway.
And what I've done is put it into BRABUS mode, and let's see if we can keep our lunch down. Wow.
It's like one of those roller coaster rides or the big pirate ship where your goonies are right up the... anyway, it's quite a violent drive off the line.
My stomach is still reeling from the gut punch. But the interesting thing is, you would have heard as well, that exhaust, or the fake exhaust noise if you like. And although yes, on the sort of top level it may seem a bit gimmicky, but I think it actually does work. It does introduce an element of character into this thing where, in a way, performance EVs have been lacking some of that, right?
Yeah, I agree. Look, there's some funny things about this car, like the door handles and things that I'm not overly impressed with. But then I drove this, and it does the theatre of the sort of fake exhaust note when you're putting your foot down, and then also pulls away so violently that I couldn't help but smile and laugh. And it's something about it. It's a really joyful car.
It does, like, right from the look of the design, the colors, you know, the black and red, all of that thing, it shouts and straight away has character. It looks different, it looks unique, and when you drive it, it doesn't feel like just any other EV. I think it has an element of fun, like with that sort of piped in exhaust noise. It makes you laugh, it makes you feel like you're on edge, about to go into the next gear, to give it some more, and then when you do, it's just savagely quick.
And it also handles or grips the road so well. I mean, I was throwing it around a fair amount, as I tend to, and it just sits and does what you want to do. And the steering is so tight and precise and responsive. Actually, everything's responsive. It's a, yeah, like I can't say more. It's a fun drive.
They say it has an intelligent all-wheel drive system, and I think trying as hard as he could, Dave still couldn't get this thing to break traction. It even, you know, aggressively going around corners and roundabouts and things, you just don't get any sort of slip at all. It keeps the power in control and puts everything as far as possible right down to the road. And I think the engagement, the feeling, the enjoyment that you get is so much more thanks to that.
You've spent a lot more time with it, but I mean, visibility wise and things like that, I feel it's okay. I feel the A pillars are not too big, and I think visibility all round is actually okay. But you've spent, like I said, more time. What do you think?
This is actually my second review stint with one of these, I have to say. So, so it's like an old friend at this point, and I've got to say that yes, thanks to its boxy sort of styling, you get these big windows around, so it's nice and easy to see all around, frankly. And then you introduce that short wheelbase, and it makes this thing even more fun to drive. And the space inside is actually really good, as well. As our tallest member pointed out earlier, that even for somebody like him in the back seat, he still had plenty of headroom to play with. So despite the fact that there's actually a big glass roof hiding up here, your taller friends and family can actually still sit in one of these pretty comfortably.
So I have no trouble at all. It turns on a dime as well. It really does, like the turning circle for an all-wheel drive is quite fantastic.
It does turn really easily, but something that is not quite so easy, I have to say, is getting used to the regenerative braking, because I have found that to be a little bit sharper than some of the other EVs I've driven. So it's just a question of maybe going into the infotainment screen and setting that to a level where you're comfortable with operating, because it has a few different options there. Similarly with the steering wheel as well, you can adjust the sort of speed or the reaction time of the steering wheel, but there is also a variable option, but I'd say rather make a choice as to what level you prefer and then sort of stick with it.
When it tells you you're speeding, which I think you probably will speed a lot in this, it does this sort of blip, 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 blip. It's like a really odd sounding thing. It's actually quite quaint. It's quite joyful. And I think, I can't say it more, most of this car is really enjoyable and joyful.
It's got this sort of cheeky kind of lovable character to it, right? Which almost makes it, and for an EV that's a huge compliment, makes it seem human in a way.
It definitely has a character, which is like you say, is a bonus. Maybe you should get one.
So there you have it, the Smart #1 Brabus. I mean, as Dave said at the start, it's fun, it's fast, and it's got a lot of character going for it.
It really does. I haven't had the keys that much actually, because Matthew's grabbed them all. But when I did, I exploited it as much as possible, and it does drive so well. It does everything it says on the tin, and and more. It wears its Brabus name with pride, I would say.
Absolutely, and if this is the direction that Smart and Brabus are going in, all I can say is, when can we have more?
Yeah, bring it on. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe and check out our TV show as well.